I'm going to say this. I think that the future got here too fast. I don't think any of us have been ready for this Pokemon VR, fucking Tinder.
This virtual augmented reality is the future.
I think it's why we don't know who to fucking vote for in this election. You know what I mean? Everything's too confusing.
Yeah, and it's all fast approaching. Like as soon as you think you can adapt to something, it's like the rules change.
No, as soon as I thought the self-driving car was a great idea, somebody died. Yeah. I can't fucking, you know what I mean? I can't get 5 minutes just to relax in the present.
And it's not worth the risk at that point.
Well, nothing is. I'm just going to stay at home with my VR helmet on.
Do it.
Talking to my rowboat.
Up on the iBang, there's a list of the top 10 predictions that are like the scariest predictions that people are saying the future will hold for us.
Really?
Yes. So
let's see if we can even guess any.
Okay.
I got one. Water riots. The fucking world runs out of drinkable water and there's riots everywhere.
Okay. Okay,
sense.
got it. I'm not sure you named it well, but okay.
I thought the water was right.
It's such a
like
tsunami?
a flood. The water turns against the people.
Instead of saying you're stupid, I just went, what? What?
The thing we held most precious to us.
All right, let's look at it. Is there water riots?
No.
Let's go over to the veto family.
Robots petitioning for equal rights.
Well, I think even scarier is the robot revolution.
Yes, that is on there. Is that robots become they easily can control humans?
Not that they petition for human rights.
That's the
They're
start.
not gay, dude.
That's just like saying like that sounds annoying, not so much
Fucking
dangerous.
robot
Like, oh
petition.
god, they're out there protesting for their rights.
Another petition.
Don't they realize these don't work?
Can we ask you to sign this?
Is that for water rights?
Excuse me, do you have a moment for robot rights?
No. Wouldn't work.
I hate that fucking robot. Where's the one that's killing me? Just bothering me when I'm trying to walk through the mall.
Sir, do you support your robot slaves?
Look, I really am on my way to work right now. I don't have time for
It's just going to take 1 minute. I just need your email address and signature.
You see me pointing at my earbuds.
Sorry.
It's my thing. I'll put them in when I see people. Earbuds.
I've already signed up. No, you haven't. We just started today.
Yeah, I gotta go though. Let me catch you on my way back. Robot. All right, I'm going to pick the pandemic.
Yes, the pandemic is on there. And not only is it possible, but they're saying that like virtually anyone will be able to create their own pandemic.
What?
What's it ever done for?
Personal pandemics? That's just somebody having diarrhea. I'm having a pandemic in my ass.
Again.
I can't explain the science behind it.
It's up there with water riots.
By
the way,
So they're saying that like terrorist groups, rogue states,
anybody can start one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
it
fucked.
would be more common.
Hey, then a bomb. You could just come up with unleashing.
Exactly.
Now, what if we took vetoes and Chris's and put it together and they were water rights, where the water is asking you.
Oh, we're fucked.
Do you have a moment for water rights?
Was that
It's very
water
hard
talking?
to do water
No,
impression, by the
It
way.
was actually pretty good. Bloop, bloop. Robots asking if they could drive.
Robots asking for an allowance instead of just doing what they're told.
Robots eating a piece of cake that you put away for yourself. Tell me, robots eating cake. All right, so Chris, it's back to you.
Okay.
Try to top water riots because that one was great.
Water. It's another fucking water thing. We lose all of our coastlines because of
Well, we're still gonna have coastlines.
like New York is underwater. That's what I'm
So
saying.
you're saying everything is
Global
land.
Global warming.
I just predicted everything becomes land.
Me and my husband bought this house down here in South Carolina. We were right on the beach. Now we're 800 miles away from it. I mean, I live in an inland empire. This started much after the water riots and they left. Losing our coastline is the funniest. You're fucking great at this, dude.
Well, is it on the list?
No.
Come on, what the fuck?
Why do they get
We've
so
been hearing
angry?
people-
Dude, don't be angry.
This
This is a fun thing we're doing.
this
It's a fun thing that's going to kill us.
I just want to get on this goddamn board.
Wait, what?
There's no reason for you, though.
It's not even a physical board.
No, there's no board. And you're not being judged. You
Okay.
came up with the two stupidest, funniest things.
No,
well, I know Vito may fit in a second somewhere. All right,
right.
so we're not losing our coastline.
No, Vito, do you have another guess?
What about like animals getting too smart for us?
What the fuck?
Planet of the Apes. Dude, you're proving that it's happening.
We're talking about actual things that you've probably heard discussed before. You guys are creating your own weird fears.
No, global warming and us running out of water. I've heard this talked about before.
Evolution.
I lost my job doing orangutan. What can I do? They're getting too smart for us. Matt, what do you got?
All right. So do you want me to go through what they are?
Let's just read it off. We're too stupid to take this test.
Virtually anyone could create their own pandemic. People will transfer their minds to computers, and that's actually suicide. Like that people will think that that's the right answer to like living eternally, but it's actually suicide because there's no way.
It's not you.
Yeah, exactly. There's no way to. What they're saying is there's no way to actually transfer consciousness.
Right.
So you can download your memories into a machine, but you would not be able to download your consciousness, and there would be no way for us to figure out how to transfer that.
But I would also argue, even downloading your memories aren't exactly truth. You know,
Right.
There's some perception that you had at a certain time. Hence, there are no actual memories.
Right. All right. Next one is the loss of government becoming too big and over controlling, loss of civil liberties and freedoms and privacy and stuff like that.
I'm ready for that right now.
Which
Just
kind
feel
of
like we're in jail all the time. I wish
Planet.
bars would open
Yeah.
when it was time for you to go to work.
well, that really leads into the next one, which is just about privacy, that everyone will be watched 24/7, Big Brother style.
Yeah.
Robots will find it easy to manipulate us.
That kind of goes into what he's saying with robot rights.
Right. Climate change will be irreversible. Chris, you were close, but it was not lacking.
Should have given me the goddamn points.
We're going to lose our coastline is one of the dumbest things.
You know what I was talking about.
No, I didn't. That's why I was so shocked.
This is one I didn't think of. The antibiotic era will end, that we will become too immune to the antibiotics that
I try never to use an antibiotic.
Yeah, me too.
And some people get it. Like I know people are like, I'm going to go get it. Antibiotics. I'm like, again? What's going to happen when you actually need them?
Yeah.
You know, when the personal pandemic starts.
Exactly. That anyone can do. Robots killing humans will be a disturbing routine where people will be programming robots to kill humans. We will lose all our satoites, either to some sort of malfunction, a solar flare, where they're just completely
There'll be mass
fried.
suicides if that happens.
Yeah, we would have to start from scratch, like anything that involved.
When I saw Ghostbusters the other night, the moments the light can't come up, 100% of the people were checking. And I was going like this. Oh, this is disgusting. Look at these people. Why I'm sitting there to see if I got any texts, why I was off the grid for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Crazy.
And then the last one, which some might see as a pro or a con, we will never make contact with aliens.
I think it's scarier to make contact with them.
That's why I think it depends on your personality. Some people think it would be sad if the human race never made contact. Other people are like, I don't think it's a good idea.
I'd love to camouflage this planet somehow to make it look like a barren wasteland so nobody would want it.
That's a great idea.
Thank you.
Because if we do make contact, it'll be on their terms, not ours, because we are not there yet.
We're
And
idiots.
we're
look at our staff. I mean, we're pretty dumb species.
And if they're going to be somehow smart enough to get to us,
The first thing they want to do, steal the water, steal our coastlines,
yep,
Water
program,
rights.
turn our robots against us.
giving
But
them all the rights.
My thing, disguising this planet to look barren wasteland. And the person I'm pitching it to, and I think this is perfect, is Baron Hilton. And I'm going to say, you're already a Baron. Let's fucking Baron up the whole planet. Hashtag let's Baron up the whole planet.
Baron for Baron.
That's even better. I wish I would have done that before I started my fucking hashtag. Because it's too long. People could just write O for okay. They can't even get an okay in there. God damn, it's so hard in this Twitterverse. But those are all frightening.
Yeah, they're all scary.
The future is no place for us, folks. Let's fucking stay here in the present. And if we can, let's try to even lean back a couple years. Look how much he said he'd love to been alive in 1980 and playing in baseball in Texas. Vito, you would have been happier in the past than you are in your own present.
Way happier. They look like they're having the time of their lives out there.
Yeah.
I don't have the time of my life at all now.
You'll have the time of your life.
So, of all the ideas that I mentioned, what to you personally is the scariest of those?
Losing the coastline.
It's going to be fucked up. New York's going to be a goddamn lake.
I mean, I didn't think this was going to be my scariest, but now personal pandemic is
Yeah.
fucking disgusting.
That's the one that really freaked me out.
Did it?
Yeah.
How about for you, Vitz?
I think the one of people putting their brains into AI and
I don't
committing
care about
suicide that way.
I don't give a shit about those fuckers
Because
upload.
you'll never do it.
No,
But what if it's
I don't even
forced?
upload pictures.
What if it was like like the government forced people to do it? You're like, sorry, you have to sign up for this.
That is why I'm voting for Trump, because I don't want to. And I feel like he's going to make a lot of bad decisions, but at least he'll make decisions. I hope he doesn't pick Newt. It doesn't seem new if he picks Newt, you know?
Mm-mm.
He's not going to pick Newt.
You know?
No,
Who's he
he's
going
not
to
gonna
pick?
He's
Chris
gonna
Christie?
He's going to pick Pence. He's going to pick Pence.
I don't even know anything about Pence.
I don't know. It could be Newt. But you're right. That's the problem with Newt, is that there's nothing
No, it's-
exciting. There's nothing new.
Was he like the
He's
Speaker
like-
of the House in the 80s or some shit, or the 90s?
90s.
They should call him Old Gingrich.
Holy shit, that's fucking great. Hashtag that. You know what? Don't even bother hashtag. I'm uploading my personality to the computer right now. Fucking just running around in a little circle there. That way, you know, that whole thing of why does anybody think being a computer would be a good thing? You know?
I don't know.
Ugh.
But I think that that people are fear death so strongly that they believe that if they could transfer themselves onto something that is indestructible or can at least last longer than the human body, that gives some people comfort.
Yeah, but they just left this power outage. Your fucking brain's gone. It's over, buddy. Some like Russian billionaire is trying to do it.
What,
It's like,
you never heard of battery?
what if the fucking power doesn't come back on? The battery's going to run out.
The power is never coming back on? You just reboot. You reboot your brain. Hey, Rose, in
Yeah.
California, how are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Great.
What's going on with you this morning?
Well, we're just having this little conversation about an awful future.
Oh, I know. I was, I'm a big fan of the science fiction movies. Not, not the real esoteric ones, but like War of the Worlds and I, Robot and what's the other one I was thinking of? And 3 of them had Will Smith in them, which is kind of
Will Smith is going to be in the future. There's no doubt
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
he is in the future, and his son is in the future. But anyway, it's like things are somewhere between iRobot and Fury Road,
Mhm.
Mad Max. It's like it can go either way, and there will probably be sections that'll be one way and sections that'll be totally the other way. But science and medicine come up with so much stuff so fast.
Too fast.
And the science and the space program, my God, that's where we got the Tempur-Pedic beds for one thing. I mean,
I know.
there's and it's so hard to keep up with the ethics of that because it just happens.
But we just had a robot kill someone the other day, and everyone went,
Yeah.
cool. And that's kind of frightening,
But doesn't it make when you think about it?
Yeah.
Okay, when you're trying to descend your squad, your men, and
Squad.
you know that putting another people in front of of a guy that's already killed a bunch of folks, or guys who've killed a bunch of folks, if you can lessen your losses, why wouldn't you do that?
Because,
and I'm sure that like the people that were on that, like the families and the guys that were on that team were really
no,
glad.
I get that, but you just can't take one situation and act like you don't understand that bad situations can come out of that. That's the scary part of this. Now, I was walking around 23rd Street the other day, and I thought to myself, what would weird me out if I came here, if I was like 8 or 10 years old and I was just here now? What would look so different? And I'm looking at like women in yoga pants, which is strange.
Right.
That would have been like basically someone walking around in their underwear when I was younger. Like someone forgot to put their dress over their fucking stockings. And I'm seeing people talking on phones and people listening to iBuds. But what really got to me, I think what freaked me out when I was a kid, is men pulling their suitcase on wheels. It would have looked like the pussiest thing in the whole world. No man would have pulled a suitcase on wheels down the street.
I had a very similar moment yesterday where I was standing on a street corner. I could look to my left and to my right, and everyone around me was playing Pokemon Go. And I was like, that's really weird. Like, I could think of myself when I was a little kid, and if this were to be explained to me, this like futuristic type video game that everyone was playing in this city. And then I turned, and the man next to me was smoking an e-cig, and I was like, that would really
I
have
saw
freaked
some
me out.
e-cigs too. And I was thinking the same thing. That's weird that you and I had the same thought.
Yeah.
But also remember, just like when you were a little kid, how bad Madden was. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
good God.
You couldn't make, and those little hand games that were just like blinkers.
It was shit. It
They
was
were just
black
a
and
light.
white.
Yeah, it was like a light moving across, and you would play it for 12 hours.
It was ink. There was like ink behind that screen. That's how they fucking had the graphics on it.
Now, here's something kind of interesting. Kids who grew up playing video games, who are like so obsessive, you like pick up a kid's video game right now and you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing with this thing. But they say that actually people who grew up on video games when they were just at their beginning are actually better video game players because video games were so difficult then, and that like to control something, like you had to use so much more of your like thumb and hand-eye coordination to achieve something because it was so like basic and everything would just like move. Whereas now everything's so fluid.
Not
it's
only that, but
easy.
it helps you.
Yeah.
Like the game, like I noticed when I'm playing the soccer game, I'm not actually making some of those passes that I'm making. There's no fucking way I'm fighting an open man like that 1 second. It's like the game kind of moves on. I'm like, here's what you're thinking, right?
That's what you wanted.
Here is, let's go to Aaron. Aaron, what's up, buddy?
Nothing. How you guys doing?
Yeah.
Love your show. Make me laugh all day driving around.
Thanks, man.
Just, you guys talking about the future and robots. Did you ever see the movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis?
Yes, Surrogates was, instead of having an icon on a computer, your icon moved around and lived your life for you.
Yeah.
So the surrogates were
everyone
living
just
the
sat
life.
in their bedrooms.
Yeah, and you were staying in your bedroom with a headset on.
Interesting. So you could just relax. They're getting stuff done. They're out there meeting people.
Yeah, and they're having sex with each other.
And through the surrogates.
Yeah, and they look better than you.
It's all like sexy young. Everyone has a sexy young surrogate.
Now, if you like this, let me just point this out. Bruce Willis doesn't.
Oh, yeah.
And he was out to destroy it like he always does.
He doesn't let us have any fun.
No. Randy in Arkansas.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, buddy.
I was just driving through town and heard you guys talking about the future.
Yeah.
I'm 58, almost 59 years old. Man, I've seen some crazy things in the past 58 years, and I always, look forward to what the hell's coming up next. One of my biggest fears is what the hell's going to happen to music. But then the beauty of it is that indie labels do give good music somewhere to go. And there's still some really good music out there, although a lot of the more commercial crap, drives
I'll
me crazy.
think about that when I'm dying from a pandemic. I'll be like, hey, I just got a good album before I want to be throwing up my own brains.
But I'm a musician. I've been playing music all my life, and I just watching how the future goes now. I mean, from playing rock in the '80s and touring with the group that I played with then, and now at 58, I'm playing a jazz trio.
That's cool.
Mostly because it's more age appropriate, and it's just how time takes us, man. You know, I still appreciate the future, and I can't wait to see what else becomes of it. Although I don't think there's going to be just a bunch of fucking robots running around controlling everything. I just couldn't see that.
Well, Randy, I hope you're right, dude, but I like your idea of the future. Chuck Klosterman wrote this thing up about the fear of the future, but then he brought up, like, let's suppose you lived through World War I, right? And by the time you were ready to retire, you had air conditioning, something that was great, but you didn't even think about when you were younger. He goes, some of the things that we're going to love from the future, no one has even thought about, and they're going to bring comfort and fun and stuff like that. And I can't imagine, like, if you were born, let's suppose you were born in 1900, right? There you would be in the 1970s. You're sitting in an air conditioner. You're watching fucking color TV. You can fly to Hawaii, and you're like, this is fucking nuts, dude.
Everyone's
right?
driving.
But remember, anyone who was born in the 70s just thought of that as totally normal. They didn't think of it as something to celebrate.
It's weird because I just got in this conversation this weekend because I was walking around Greenwood Cemetery looking for Pokemon, and we were passing different, gravestones, and we were going through this exact same thing of somebody was born in like 1870,
right,
who lived 90 years, and then we would go through and be like, okay, so this change was made, this change, like they probably had a dishwasher in their house. Like, how insane.
They thought everything was crazy.
Yeah.
And just to remember that people born in that time, and I had a great grandmother, who would talk about the Iceman coming to the house. And even though that there were cars at the time, there would still be, the Iceman would still use a horse and stuff like that. And they said even for the milkman didn't want to get a truck because the horse would pull a fucking buggy along while he would hit 4 houses. The horse would just kind of keep walking along slow. And when he used the truck, he'd have to run back for it. It's like, this isn't fucking helping. Why does anyone think a truck is a good thing? It doesn't even fucking follow you. But yeah, those old people must have been just fucking freaking out all the time. And they saw, my great-grandmother was born before the Wright brothers flew and saw a man land on the moon in one lifetime. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, those are the types of things. The other thing we kept bringing up is communication. They were born in a time where you would have to write a letter to someone overseas and pray that it got to them in time to give them some news. And then by the time they died, they were picking up the phone. Like, we think that, using your iPhone or like Skype was weird when that happened, using video messaging. Now, like, the idea of just having instant communication was brand new.
The weird thing is people like text rather than Skype. You know what I mean? More people text than Skype. More people text than use a telephone. That's one that people wouldn't have seen coming. When a text came out, I go, why would I want that?
Yeah.
I remember it was Don who said, I'm giving all you guys Blackberries so that we can stay in contact with each other. And we were like, what? Why do I want to sit here and type with my thumb? It's too hard.
Yeah.
No one's going to type with their thumb.
The first time I got a BlackBerry, which is not even that long ago. No. It's like not that long ago.
Like 10 years ago.
I was like miserable. This idea that I could be reached by work at home. I was like, this is disgusting. They were able to get me wherever I am. And that was the beginning. I didn't have, an iPhone at that point. I just thought it was
the BlackBerry came out way before all of them.
Yeah.
BlackBerry was the first one to let you get like emails and everything else at home all the time.
Yeah, that was the big Crackberry thing. We all thought it was just madness.